All right, Anthony on Air podcast, and we've got another never-before-seen photo collection for you. This time, it's former President Bill Clinton getting a massage from one of the Jeffrey Epstein accusers. Kind of disgusting, but it's weird. This might not turn out how you think it might turn out, so just a heads up on that. Frankie C is here, so is Jay Sabs to help us along with the ride. Here's a photo, and I'm going to hold this up for the people that are watching on YouTube or Facebook. So if you're listening, go on over to our YouTube channel. If you want a nice view of the photographs, there's going to be a link in the YouTube description below, so you can get your own high-def look at these photographs. This is Shanti Davis. She was 22 years old at the time, and you can see these photos here, which were just released yesterday by the Daily Mail, which I find pretty interesting timing to go along with the Democratic National Convention, where the former president did have a speaking time in there, which I find pretty curious. So this is when these photos were released, just yesterday before this all happened. So this is Shanti Davis. She's 22 years old. This is on that Africa trip that we talked about, where Kevin Spacey was there and Chris Tucker was there, I believe, as well. And Shanti Davis was there. And, of course, Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were all a part of it. And as we scroll here, you can see it kind of gets, they kind of zoom in here at one moment where it kind of gets a little more disgusting and works. She's like working on like a little knot in his neck there. Pretty disgusting stuff. Here's another shot of Shanti with the president somewhere else. Right there, you can see. Now, here's the weird turn this takes, Jay Sabs. I saw this, and I saw the headline, and probably like a lot of people who are clicking on the podcast to watch or to listen, they're like, oh, my God, here's the thing. Right. Shanti Davis at the end of this article that's on the Daily Mail, which, again, we'll link that. That's in the description below, says that Bill Clinton couldn't have been a nicer person and that he was a perfect gentleman. That's surprising to me, because I think everybody was like tuning in to be like, oh, here's this like huge thing, and that's why I clicked on the article to read the article. But yet we don't get that. Instead, we get, let's go through it. This is the events as is described here in this article. Clinton, who was 56 at the time, complained of having a stiff neck after falling asleep on Epstein's infamous private jet, the Lolita Express. By the way, there's other shots of the jet. We looked at this in a previous episode on the podcast, and we'll link that in the cards in the description below. But there's another look at all of those seats. And by the way, I don't know how true this is, but I had somebody reach out to me who's an aeronautical guy or whatever, and he said that it's not uncommon to have couches and beds that go flat on a plane, but it is a little weird to have these round chair, to have every single one of them on the plane be a go flat sort of a surface. And there's another look at just how old and just cheesy and crummy this old plane
We better not talk too much about it, because then we'll get in trouble.
Well, what? It's from the 80s, I'd say, right?
I don't know when the plane was made itself, but
90s.
Yeah, even 90s. It's funny how you look back at 90s now, having lived that decade.
That's so old.
And everything looks so old and shitty when you were going through it. Just like every decade, you're like, oh, this is all new and like fancy.
Right.
Well,
like the 80s was like the shoulder pad decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little too much Formica in both decades, if you ask me. So he's complaining about a stiff neck, and Maxwell says, why don't you have Shanti give you a massage? Now, Shanti is a masseuse, which is why she's on the trip. So she insists on it. Clinton says, would you mind giving it a crack to her? So you can see in the images there that she has him sit on a chair. She goes on the chair behind him. She starts working on him. He smiles, which is that very, very creepy, odd, bizarre picture that I know that some people are going to be like, oh, this is not, nothing happened here. But still, that's creepy with him like smiling and pleasure there.
It's definitely creepy. But it's like there's nothing incriminating in this shot.
Nothing incriminating in any of these photos.
It's certainly creepy.
like we've been talking about, it's creepy and incriminating enough for us, but for a court of law, it's not going to be.
I mean, she's
Well,
22 and a masseuse.
yeah.
And she was apparently a prisoner of theirs, right? Like a
Yes.
right.
But she said that she didn't have any. So this is on the way to Africa. So she said that although the massage looks bizarre in the images, President Clinton was a perfect gentleman during the trip, and I saw absolutely no foul play involving him. She explained the massage.
She said that?
This is Shanti saying this. She explained the massage happened
There you go.
when we had a stopover for the jet to refuel, and while we were in the terminal, the ex-president was complaining of stiffness from falling asleep in his chair. Ghislaine chimed in to be funny and said that I could give him a massage. Everyone had a little chuckle, but Ghislaine, in her prim British accent, insisted, and I said I was good. The president then asked me, would you mind giving it a crack? He turned his back to me, and I reached up and started to rub out the kink in the former president's neck and shoulder. The massage therapist then revealed an embarrassing moment after innocently telling Clinton, I've got a bad angle. Would you mind getting on your knees? Describing the incident, she said, I'm not at all sure what came over me. In an excerpt from her soon-to-be released memoir, Davis added, I was groggy and I've always been the queen of putting my foot in my mouth. For a moment, the room fell silent. I couldn't believe I said that. Then, although his face had turned the color of fire, he laughed. The whole room was laughing too, and being a good sport that he was, he sat down so I can get a better angle.
All right, so she asked him to get on his knees so she can get a better angle.
Yeah, and that was like a little bit of an embarrassing moment. Here's the weird thing, though, and you don't see it in the photos that we've just shown you, but let me get this photo up. They made her wear...
taking these pictures?
They made her wear... Excellent question, Frank. They made her wear a flight attendant's outfit at one point. There she is wearing a flight attendant's outfit. Now...
Okay. Now that's... Come on.
Right? That's like, you see that and you're like, it's just so sick.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're someone on that plane and you think that she's just an employee, right? I mean, if you didn't know any better,
I guess so.
So she asked you to get on your knees.
You don't know what.
The weird thing, though, in all of this is it's not like it's completely uncommon. I mean, it's so bizarre to us, but I mean, I guess it's probably, and this is probably why they was able to get away with so much, is this thought process, which is like, I guess it's not uncommon for a millionaire to travel with his own personal masseuse. I guess that's a normal.
Sounds like it would be a normal thing for a millionaire.
And that's something like, you know, middle class people would watch rich people do in a movie. So when you see it in real life, you're probably like, okay, I guess this is like a thing.
Right.
But Frank,
it's just, wait, can I just say how funny it is? It was released yesterday when he spoke at the DNC last night. Come on.
Frank and Jeanine are two good points. Who took these pictures and why did they come out yesterday?
Now.
Right. But we've never seen these before. Why did they come out yesterday, right before the Democratic National Convention? And let me throw a third question out there, which is, why the hell did the Democratic National Committee invite this guy to speak at the convention? I know he's a former president, but we've seen his role in the Democratic Party slowly dwindle as more and more of this stuff comes to light. Again, this is not criminally damning. But if I'm running the DNC, first of all, I would have had a band. I would have had a little, just a little something, a little music in there, all the boring speeches. Secondly, I would have never let this guy talk at the Democratic National Convention. Why on earth would you let that happen?
Not a good move.
Not a good move at all.
Relations-wise. I mean, he's under some heat. There's nothing incriminating yet, but we don't know. You don't want to... When some kind of scandal is out there, true or not, like I wouldn't have Ellen speak at this thing either.
Good point, Frank.
But
there's nothing incriminating, but this being released 5 minutes before we're supposed to watch him speak is like, it doesn't make you feel great about anything.
No.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, he's getting a massage from a 22-year-old. It's not like he's getting a massage from a 16-year-old. And yeah, she's a prisoner of theirs, but he, for all we know, he doesn't know that.
That's their defense.
I'm not defending it.
Right.
I'm just saying, again, it's creepy, but
Benefit of the doubt.
What's that?
Benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Benefit of the doubt. I mean, he's got all these people, celebrities, in and out of his jet all the time. I'm sure not all of them are being handed a note. Hey, I'm being held captive. They don't know this stuff most of the time, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the Democrats and you're trying to win this election, I would just be spacing myself out so far from
Not from Clinton
as much as I possibly can. And yet they let this guy have a talk last night. Now, I didn't watch the Democratic National Convention because I couldn't imagine a more boring way to spend my life than watching pre-recorded people say things to people that want to hear them or want to be angry about them. I don't even know why they're still doing these. The Republicans are going to do it.
I'm not watching the Republican one.
Yeah.
No,
the Republicans are going to do it. The Democrats are doing it. I couldn't imagine a bigger waste of time.
The only bigger waste of time for me would be a fantasy football draft. I can't imagine a more boring waste of time. I mean, but at least people are betting money on this stuff. There's nothing going on at the DNC that I would care about.
Yeah, at least somebody could win money and their life would be improved at a fantasy draft, whereas at a convention, no, there's nothing. Politics are not going to produce that same result.
If anybody out there would ever want to torture me, make me watch the fantasy football draft.
Would you wait? I like fantasy. Would you do a fantasy football draft, or you're just saying watching it is the problem? Watching somebody else do it.
I mean, what is it? Is it a show? Do you sit there and watch people call names and stuff? What am I looking at? If there's a football draft, there's an NFL draft.
Right.
Are you doing it based on that?
Oh, you gigantic nerd. Here's what happens.
I'm a nerd because I don't participate in fantasy football. That doesn't even exist. It's a ridiculous thing, and it's just boring.
The Stormtrooper shirt's not helping your case here either. I'm just saying.
First of all, Star Wars is not boring.
Frank, I like that shirt.
Thank you very much, Jeanine.
No, what you do is you get players. You have a certain amount of money sometimes, or a certain amount of budget for players, and you pick players, and then they do things throughout the season, and you get points, and then you compete against other people who've done the same thing, and that's what fantasy football is. So the draft is you actually picking the players.
So the draft isn't a televised event. It's what you do with your friends.
Yes, Frank.
Right.
By yourselves.
Right, has nothing to do with the real draft. The real draft is drafting rookies.
Whenever I hear people talk about it, it's always on a specific date, a specific time, but that's just among friends, right? That's like we're having it at this date and time.
Because you have because you have like 400, 500, 800 players depending on what league it is, and then you guys all sit around.
In the face.
And all guys,
if you want to torture me, make me attend a fantasy football draft and actively participate.
I think it's very popular. People rent out clubs to do it in huge halls, like catering.
Exactly. So what did you say? There's like 800 players, give or take?
Well, depending on the league. What league?
Right. Okay. So I would hear about 798 players I've never heard of before. And then 2 people that I go, that sounds familiar. And I go, if I can't have those 2, I don't know what I'm doing here. That's fantasy football to me.
Frank,
and just keeping track of it every week. I did fantasy. I was roped into fantasy hockey one time. And I love hockey, but I can't imagine a more boring thing to do than fantasy blank. I can't do it.
What if
the regular things like football? Unless it means something, unless it's the Super Bowl, I can't.
What if we had fantasy politics where you get to draft a president and a vice president? Suicide?
No good.
You'd end it all?
No good. No, because it doesn't. In the end, it doesn't make a difference. Nothing changed. So. Nothing matters. It doesn't matter.
See, I could watch people do fantasy sports. I couldn't watch this. Because here's the thing.
You could watch people do fantasy sports.
I could.
You're not even watching the game. You're watching people decide on what players to pick for a game that'll happen in the future. That's what you're doing.
I'm falling
And that's
asleep.
exciting
I'm
to
falling
you.
asleep listening to you guys talk about fantasy football or whatever.
Thank you, Jeanine. I know we steered the topic away
That's
from
fine. No, it's good.
the big main topic, but it's a little tangent. I'm sorry.
No, it's still part of the topic because we're wondering why this came out right before the convention. We're talking about the convention, and you brought up this example of something that I just think I could watch that. I couldn't bring myself to watch this, and I fell into into a clickbaity thing last night when I got home. On Twitter they were like, AOC endorses Bernie, and I was like, oh shit, like here we go, like the revolution's happening. And I tuned in, and it was on the schedule to do it that way, so it was like it's all their procedural.
She endorsed him when he was running anyway.
Yeah, it's all their procedural stuff, which again, in a normal year in a live event, all right, but I think we're all tuning in to see if some crazy stuff happens. Now that it's not live and all pre-taped, who cares? Who gives a crap?
Very boring.
I mean, it has to be done. It's traditional, and it's to make sure everything's done by the book. But it doesn't have to be this huge event.
It doesn't have to be 3
televised.
days. I think the thing is going on for 3 days. Like let Kamala do her speech and Joe can do his speech, and then that's it. I'm working on my Joe Biden impression. You ready?
Oh God.
Where am I? Where am I? And scene. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Very good.
Wow. I would applaud, but I can't see you. So
huge impression.
Same here.
Huge impression. I like when he looked around. A lot of people tell me that was a good impression. It was a huge little.
Excuse me. I'm playing. Here. It looks like he's always setting up to play. What's that football game with the paper?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a little paper triangle.
He's playing triangle football. Here. Excuse me, right here. Here's the goal.
I love it.
Excuse me. One time, I would love a reporter as he's doing this to just kick a little football right at the.
That would be the greatest thing ever. That's what we need. That's why we have John Stossel. I feel like John Stossel's that guy. He can do it. Anybody know if he's still alive?
He could just right as he's doing it, just bing,
just blip, right through. That would be the best thing ever.
And get stuck in his stupid hair.
That would win the internet for the entire year. That would make this whole year worth it.
That would be my favorite thing. It would redeem in a very, very small way 2020.
Very, very small. But yes, I agree with you, Frank. I agree with you big time. So that's it. So yeah, I don't know why they let him in the DNC, and I don't know. Like, I think these are supposed to be like the bombshell pictures. But here's the weird thing about all of this, which is why this is such a waste of time for me. The people that are tuning into the DNC, they're hardcore. You're either a hardcore Democrat and you're loving everything that's being said, or you're a Republican and you're just sitting there getting angry. And everybody's going to do the same thing when the Republicans go. It's just going to be in the reverse. And that's why it's not exciting at all. Whereas if
Republicans aren't going to watch the DNC and vice versa, only the people who are reporting on it.
I think so. I think they will. I think you had a fair part. I think you had a fair amount of Republicans tuning in to the DNC going like, oh, this sucks. This guy stinks. This guy sucks. All that stuff. Whereas if you're watching a fantasy draft, is Jeremy going to take Aaron Judge? We don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, my question would be.
No.
And it's like, oh look, Kevin's kids came in and ruined the draft again. Like this is very thrilling. The whole,
I had to go. Who the hell is Kevin and Jeremy? And why am I watching this? And who is the person with the gun to my head? That's the only questions I would have.
Oh God.
All right. And yeah, where did these who had these photos and where did they come from? We don't know. That's what I want to know. And I guess the exciting thing for anybody who's like, oh, this sucked. This wasn't, Clinton getting a happy ending on a table, which is what I wanted to tune in and see. You got to think to yourself, whoever's got these photos have got a lot of other photos, Yeah.
They're just waiting for the perfect time. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it
I
breaks
don't
your
know. I
heart
mean,
to see this poor girl in the stupid flight, the flight attendant uniform. Like,
isn't there like some kind of you can't use my picture law?
No, Frank.
no, and especially if it's newsworthy, you can show it. If there's a newsworthy topic,
So if
which
it's
this is.
newsworthy, who decides that?
Do you argue about it in court with lawyers well after the fact?
Okay. All right. Hey, question asked, question answered.
Hold on. I'm trying to invite you to my fantasy football draft, Frank. Just give me a second here.
Oh, good. I'll accept that as soon as I get it.
Brittany Spears is strongly opposed to having her dad continue sole conservatorship over her and her estate. And lucky for us, we have the biggest Brittany Spears fan and also impersonator on the planet here, Frankie C. Frankie, what do you think about...
No, this way.
No, Jeanine is that person. Do you want me to read through this and you give your thoughts, or do you want to give your thoughts first?
I mean, I think it's time for her to take over her life.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
You think she's mentally capable?
I mean, from her TikTok videos, yeah.
Oh, well, Your Honor. I rest my case.
Exactly. No, I think it's time. Her father is very weird. He's always been weird.
Kind of weird, though, right?
Yeah.
They're both weird. I think the whole family's
weird.
got a weird issue going on there. There's her with her dad right there.
It's time. She's almost 40 years old.
Yeah, but can she handle it? Because, I mean, there's a reason why. Well, here's the thing.
Let's hear it.
I guess there's a temporary conservator while they figure this out. Her name is Jody Montgomery. She wants the temporary conservator made permanent. Legal documents state the change is necessary to reflect her current lifestyle and wishes. The documents are part of Brittany's ongoing battle to have her 12-year conservatorship loosened. The latest filing sets up a possible legal showdown between the pop star and her father. Following a mental breakdown in 2008, Brittany was placed under temporary and then permanent conservatorship, with her father controlling her estate and finances. The request comes as the Free Britney movement has been heating up among fans who believe in a conspiracy theory that the pop star is being held hostage by her caretakers.
There is some weird stuff with that. There was a video she did, I guess, on her TikTok where there was a comment or a few comments where they said, if you're in trouble, wear a yellow shirt.
Yep, the yellow shirt.
On your next thing. And then she did.
Yeah.
And people are pointing to that, saying she's in trouble. She's under, duress of some kind.
Well, which just goes to show you the beautiful power of social media, where a lot of people will complain about it. And I certainly, easy with the Facebook politics, enough. You're not changing anybody's mind, okay? Put out there what you believe in, but stop arguing with other people. Social media has helped overthrow governments. You look at the Me Too movement and what that's been producing. I don't even know if we have all this Epstein fallout, if not for social media putting the pressure to get results, which is great. And now you have this where it's like people are concerned and they're actually getting stuff done because of this silly, Free Britney thing. And
imagine if there was no social media. We wouldn't know. We wouldn't have heard anything about Brittany except on TV, and nobody would be checking in on her. And how would we know if she couldn't reach out?
She would have been as mysterious to us as where John Stossel's whereabouts are right now. We wouldn't know.
We would not know.
But she obviously needs help, though. I mean, I don't think she could live out on her own, Jeanine.
I don't know. I mean, obviously she does have some issues. I love the girl. I do. She does have some. What about her mom?
Where is her mom?
Right.
Her mom's not a part of it.
Alive.
Is she alive?
She's alive.
She just doesn't get a say.
Yeah. Right.
So now she's not asking to take over.
No, you're there.
Okay, so she's not asking to take over. She's asking for the temporary person who was in control of her finances to become permanent, right?
Right. Yeah. I guess maybe.
So it wouldn't be her taking over her own stuff.
No.
She just wants her dad to stop.
Which is a pretty big move, because to be able to be like, hey, I need help, but I just need different help. That's like a nice little,
Right.
That's
taking some responsibility. That's a responsible move by an adult.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But I guess she's complaining that he's spending too much or whatever. But here's the other thing. Like, has there ever been a moment where you've completely agreed with your dad on how things are getting spent, how money's getting spent?
Negative. No.
Never ever. Like, if you go downstairs right now, my kid's got a quarrel about, we're not buying enough Legos in the house. Like, that was his latest complaint to me just this morning. Like, where's all the new Legos?
You know what I think? I mean, if it's Brittany Spears' money, she made it. Even if she wanted to take all of it, let's say it's like $40 billion. Can you hear me?
Okay,
Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Let's say it's that much. If she wanted to take it and throw it off a cliff, that's her. That's crazy, but it's her money and it's her decision. Why wouldn't she be able to do that?
I mean, I guess technically, yeah, but wouldn't you feel bad to watch a mentally ill person throw all their hard work away?
Yeah. I'd feel bad, but that's her choice to do with her money what she wants. She's not going to throw it off a cliff, but if she spends it on this or that, that's her choice. No.
You know what? You make up a good point, Frank, here, because back in 1989, when Joker wanted to throw all his money out, everybody gathered for the parade to catch it.
You see? And what did he do? He poisoned them all.
Yeah.
I don't know what my point is.
Brittany Spears is going to poison us if she decides to give her money away. I think that's what your point is.
Okay. That's
That's exactly what you meant.
Finally, in one of the more disgusting things I have ever seen, David Blaine was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he ate and subsequently regurgitated a live frog. It was one of the more disgusting things that I've ever seen. And again, we'll put a link in the card or the description down below on YouTube only. So if you're listening on the podcast side or you're watching on Facebook, you'll have to go there to see it. But it was... Now, I will say, we were just talking about this before we started the podcast, and a little queasy right now because during quarantine, I went out and I bought like an ungodly amount of canned soups, and I heated up a canned soup, and it was not good.
I'm going to throw up right now.
It was a little disgusting. And then I came in here, and then here's this guy drinking a bunch of water and then sucking down a live frog. And what's really gross is, and you'll see this on the video if you guys are listening on the podcast, and you can click on the video. Watch as the frog's little leg sticks out. Oh, right there. Just the little leg is the last thing to go in.
No.
As he sticks it in his mouth. Watch the little leg dangle out. It's so gross. And he swallows it. And then just the ASMR of him trying to throw up. I'll put this in my mic.
Please don't.
Oh, no. Because I can't.
I have to mute this.
Like sushi. Right?
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
Is he doing it?
A little bit. Can you hear it?
This is so bizarre. Here it comes.
It's because I drank so much, so it's like I have to like locate them.
You have to locate
All right. I don't know if you can really get across some of the gurgling.
No.
Yeah, I've seen this before. He apparently... Are we listening? Is he doing it?
I'll fast forward to where he actually gets it out. Then he starts like literally heaving up because he had to drink a gallon of water just to kind of like give the frog like a place to land, because he can't just have the frog like in his empty stomach. So the frog's got to like swim around. But he kept the frog in for like a good 7 minutes.
He's been working on this for a long time, and he's done it a few other times. But my question is, how many times has he worked on this and it didn't work.
Well,
And how many frogs has he fully just
The
eaten?
frog is probably like, what the fuck did I do to deserve this? I bet that frog was just like an asshole person in another life.
Do you hear the? That's just the water coming
That's a
out
gallon of water.
as
Do we need
he
another bucket?
vomits out the water, and Rogan goes, "Do we need another bucket?"
that's just disgusting.
See-
Now I'm nauseous.
Now, is this magic or is this just something gross that someone could do?
No, he
Right.
says it's not magic, and here it is. Here it is coming out.
It's a
if you
stunt.
would. It's a stunt. Yeah, yeah. He was talking previously in the episode about how there was a guy who did all this kind of stuff, and he admired him and appreciated him. And he actually spits it up into Rogan's hand, which is really, really just
come on.
super disgusting.
There's not enough hand sanitizer in the world.
No.
No, there's not. It's really
So-
not.
This reminds me of that guy. Remember that guy who could do that with billiard balls?
Billiard balls.
Frank,
Yeah,
what kind
there's a
of
guy-
porn do you watch?
It's the weirdest stuff. There's a guy who takes literal billiard balls, pool balls, and sucks them down, and he just inhales them, and then he'll cough them back up.
Really?
Same guy takes someone's wedding ring. He does it. It's a magic trick, but he does it. Like you could see him do it. He takes a wedding ring and a closed lock and a key. All three are separate. He swallows all three things, and he's talking. You could see him swallow. You see it go down his throat, and he's talking through the process. And he goes, "All right, now I got the key inside the lock. All right, now I got the ring on the key."
I think he was talking about, I think he, in the episode, I think he was talking, David Blaine was talking about the guy you're talking about as being like the
And then he
inspiration.
coughs it up, and the three things are linked together.
Yeah.
And it's like, excuse me,
Excuse me.
What are you
Huge
doing?
trick. Huge trick.
stop
Excuse me,
throwing up
excuse me.
my wedding ring. I have three of them.
A lot of people tell me the frog is fine. The frog's fine.
Brooke's fine. You give him some hydrochloroquine, he's gonna be fine.
Frank, I'm glad you
shove some
pronounced
bleach.
that word.
You shove some bleach up his ass, he's gonna be fine.
And you got Joe Biden. Where'd the frog go? Where's the frog? Where am I? I don't even.
Oh, endless humor with these two.
Forget the debates. Forget Biden and Trump debating each other. I'd like to just get Biden and Trump to watch a bunch of YouTube videos. That's how I want to pick the next president of the United States.
Just reaction shots of them.
Just reactions of that. We get to pick the videos they have to watch. We'll put WAP on there. We'll put the regurgitating frog on there. And we'll just see how it all goes down.
What?
Do you
I'm
know-
sure we can learn a lot from their reactions.
I agree.
I think so. Huge ass on that Cardi B. Huge ass. A lot of people tell me it's one of the bigger asses. A lot of people are saying it's a big ass.
Well, the best people.
You know, the best people are telling me this went to number one. It was because of her big, huge ass. Like a huge.
Believe me, I've seen big asses. I'm around them all day.
Take a look at the charts.
This is the biggest.
We have the biggest asses in America. We have the biggest ones. Go to Europe. They don't
That
have
I believe.
asses like this.
Oh, it's pronounced asses.
Oh, Frank.
I think I lost you.
Joe Biden's like, look at this mountain range. Oh, no, that's a rear end. Oh, look at that. Oh, amazing. Where am I? Where is this?
So, yeah, Brittany Spears is crazy, but give her money. That's my point of this whole video.
I'd like to see if Britney Spears can throw up a live frog. Then I feel
Ugh,
like the
I'm
money.
nauseous still.
It's really disgusting. Like I think I was a little queasy to begin with because of the suit, but watching that, I almost hurled watching him.
Oh,
You,
and
you,
another thing.
you hear him go to vomit, and you hear the water like inside him moving around.
Uh-oh. This is basically what it looks like inside his stomach.
Basically,
Frank is
frog.
ship-shifting. Frank is ship-shifting.
go ahead. 8
Shape
megabit
shift-
Frank wants to say
shape-shifting.
something. Go ahead.
Shape shifting. Okay, I'm back.
Not ship-shifting.
Have at it in the comments.
Oh, they are
so-
definitely going to rip me apart.
So we were talking about it before with the soups, and apparently you, Jeanine, do not like soups,
No,
like of any kind.
no, not really.
Nothing.
Maybe a French onion soup from Panera,
Oh,
but even then, I have to be in the mood. I don't like soup because I don't like it. It makes you hot. That's it.
What about in the
Just-
winter? Nice, inner inside. No chicken soup. Maybe.
Oh, I hate chicken soup.
You
I hate the
chicken soup.
smell of chicken soup.
What about a bisque? A nice bisque.
Too thick and creamy. Definitely gonna get eaten up on the comments there.
Yikes. And chowders are off the table. All right.
even if
I
it's
know, I'm not
yeah,
a
like
soup-
Frank said, if it's cold, to warm you up a little bit.
Nah, I'm good. I'm always hot, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, soups could be great.
When you're so when you're out, let's say I don't know, shoveling, or you're out in the snow, you come back inside. What do you like a hot coffee, hot cocoa? What do you do to warm yourself up? Anything?
A bowl of ice cream.
Makes sense.
Of course, she doesn't like soup. Meth heads hate soup. Everybody knows that.
No, I never was a fan of soup, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't like the smell of soups. And
Yeah, all
now
soups smell different, though.
I will say
I
this.
just don't like them.
I will say this
Why?
because I'm very against what you're saying. But the one thing
know.
I could agree with is when a soup gets cold, it smells disgusting to me.
Oh yes.
A cold soup is no good.
When it's hot, I like the aroma, everything is great. When it starts to cool down a little bit and get into that room temperature area, it kind of gets a little disgusting to me.
I agree. I don't like soup.
Especially chicken soup can get like a really weird smell to it when it's not
Oh, it's
hot.
And
disgusting.
it gets that film on the top when it's cold.
Yeah, yeah. Can we all agree though that the French onion is like the Cadillac of soups? Like, is that not at the top of the? Is that not number one soup?
Yes, because I don't like soups, so that's it.
I feel like if
In
you
terms
want to
of,
be,
like fanciness.
yeah, because that's the thing. If you want to be bougie, you're going to be like, oh, a lobster bisque all the way. Of course, like that's going to be the most expensive and it's delicious. Who's but I feel like the French onion is out there every day working. Whereas
That's right.
Like you're not going to go to. From my point to be like, this is the workhorse of soups. You're not going to go to Panera and order the fucking lobster bisque. Like that's not going to happen. But you
Why
will.
not?
You'll journey
Not
to
from Panera.
not from Panera. You'll journey to the French onion soup is not like a French onion soup at a really good restaurant, but you're like, okay, this is pretty good.
You got to be into onions. I'm not that into. You know what's weird? I hate onions, but I like French onion soup. I eat every part of the soup except the onions. I eat the broth, the bread, the cheese.
It's just
But
the
I
onions.
can't. The onions, the physical sliminess of the onions.
It's a texture
Blech.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No thanks.
This would be my top 3. French onion soup, lobster bisque, and then that when you go to the gym and you sweat and you wring out your shirt, that would be put number 3 top soups.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And then chicken.
And then chicken noodle.
Okay. Right below gym sweat.
No, I'd put third. I'd put like a nice little I like a good corn chowder, believe it or not.
Okay.
All chowders are pretty good.
Yeah.
I have to say. I have like cream of mushroom, all this stuff.
I like a
go
cream
for
of
soup
mushroom
right now.
Yeah, I like a good cream of mushroom soup. Yeah.
It's too hot for soup right now.
I had soup the other day. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I will say I'm a temperature guy. I
Lobster
can't have
bisque.
soup in the summer. It's
No,
disgusting.
you can't have soup. Yeah, and you did it today. That's why you're nauseous.
I did it today. You might be right, but it is a little rainy and crummy and kind of like we had the air conditioner buzzing in the house, so that might have been I was like soup. Let's do the soup thing. My uncle's been
Right.
trying to push gazpacho on me for years, and it's like that.
Oh, cold soup.
Cold soup is disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
Just drink tomato sauce. You're fine. Ooh.
Oh, Jeanine, a nice tomato soup with grilled cheese. You get a big, thick grilled cheese sandwich, dip it in there, dunk it in there.
You're missing out on a whole world of interesting and good foods.
Yeah, I think Panera actually does the tomato soup and grilled cheese.
All right, you know what?
Classic.
I'll try that next time I go.
Yeah, and they have
Excellent.
they have a decent grilled cheese over there at Panera Breads.
Okay, breads. I gotta try it then.
Yeah. I love Panera. I get that Grand Slam breakfast. It's so great.
Grand Slam breakfast.
I've never even had the breakfast from there.
Barack.
Grand Slam is from Denny's.
I know. I'm doing my Joe Biden, man. Come on, stick with it, buddy.
I don't know. You got to work on it because I didn't get that at all.
It's really not much. I say senile things and I look up a lot and soften my voice. It's not much of an impression.
I got you.
I think we should place a bet on how long he actually stays in office.
Biden?
I'd say, 31 days.
Here's the thing with that.
31 days.
Ask any Democrat if they care how many days to stay. They need him in there for 48 hours max until he can turn it over. They could care less. It doesn't matter. It just does not matter. All right. I think we'll leave it there. Anybody else have anything else? Are we good? Been going for 40 minutes.
I just wish Jeanine would try more soups. That's all.
Okay.
Do it.
When it gets below 40 degrees out.
But I mean, you've had soups, right? It's not like you haven't tried them.
It's not right. I've tried them. It's just not my go-to thing.
Right. Like
I guarantee everybody in the comments right now is going, "Oh God, here we go again with the friggin' soup comments."
I know
the soup conversation.
I know.
I had to start it back up. I'm sorry, guys.
No, I like the soup conversation. What's your top 3 soups, Frank? I gave mine.
New England clam chowder. I gotta say, even though I hate onions, French onion soup's up there.
Okay.
Hypocrite.
And I don't know. Classic, my mom's classic chicken soup, the way my mom makes it. That's good stuff.
What a mama's boy.
I have to learn that recipe.
What a mama's boy. What's on the coat rack today?
I like my mom's chicken soup. It's good stuff.
Your mom usually feeds me different things. I don't want to get into it right now. You're a little sensitive about it.
You see now, you gotta, it's just not cool, man. Not cool.
I love it.
Jerk.
It's weird. Both of your moms actually have a thing for me. Is that odd for you guys?
Not at all.
Cool.
Does my mom feed you corn chowder?
No,
after
your mom.
You fornicate?
No. No, your mom does not feed me corn chowder. I bet she would like to, though, if I gave her the chance.
All right. I don't know where this is going, but I like it.
What's on the coat rack? Something dog, I see. I can't make out the first word.
It's a gift from your mom. No, it says when all else fails, hug the dog.
When all else
it's just
fails.
A little.
Wait, when all else fails, hump the dog?
No, hug the dog, Jeanine, not hump the dog.
Okay.
Hug. It's just a little wooden decoration that goes around the house.
Great. Now all the people that hate Jeanine are going to be tagging PETA in the comments. Like, look, see, animal cruelty. Look at the meth head. What she's doing.
Can you, edit me out the last half of this video?
That's it.
Now, Jeanine,
a big bar right here.
As we go, I painstakingly went through a bunch of comments and sent you some of the nicer ones. So there are people that do enjoy you and like your stuff.
Both of those comments were really nice.
It was a lot to go through. It took me 7 hours, but I found 3 good comments.
7 out of 15,000 comments.
And they're in Australia, so
exactly.
You got a good fan base growing in Australia, so good job.
Yeah, that strong fan base in Australia.
They're so nice in Australia. I don't know.
They really
are. They must be so happy down there. There's no BS. There's no. I mean, I don't know. I'm really thinking about moving to Australia. Every picture I see of Australia, it's like a nice beach.
It is, but every time I see something about Australia, I love everybody down there. But it's always like, this is a giant snake that could kill you. This is
True.
A giant,
That's
this
true.
is a giant spider that could kill you. There's always these gigantic, weird creatures And whenever you ask where is that, it's 9 times out of 10, it's
Australia.
like it's Australia.
That's true.
Am I wrong? Like there's giant lizards and kangaroos that'll kick your ass, and I don't
Do
know.
you know what? They're nice. Unlike
kangaroos
the
are very
here, who are
nice.
so mean. Because I went down that rabbit hole last night to look at pet comments. Oh my god!
It's your first mistake.
You did.
There you go. Yeah.
Let us weed through the comments for you. We'll send you the good ones.
We got to do an episode where we just let you get all the anger out because you're carrying it through all the episodes now, and it's not healthy.
It's building up.
Yeah. Do you want to do it now? Do you want to
Taking
yell
out
it?
of my husband. We're good.
Oh God.
All right. If you want to do it now, I'm okay with it.
No, it's okay.
Okay. All right. But yeah, if you're from Australia, I'd like to know where there's not killer scorpions and snakes. There's got to be a part where everything is all good, right? I could,
Then you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go in the water. But they're like surrounded by great white sharks. Now, this is from someone who's
never been to Australia. You've never been outside of New York and New Jersey.
I've traveled, I've been places. But this is an American not knowing much about Australia, just seeing pictures and being like, there's a lot of big, scary creatures, bugs and snakes and things. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure Australia is a lovely place. I just hear a lot of
Killer things.
Yeah, there's a lot of
things
killer
that
things.
are there. There's creatures that are there that live down there.
Here's the thing. I don't mind the
And it's just-
kangaroos or the sharks. I actually don't mind that because I think you can avoid those. It's the snakes and the scorpions. It's the things that sneak up on you that are low to the
giant
ground.
spiders.
Yeah, I don't like that. I can't. It's hard to defend that.
It's freaking me out, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a
Yeah.
lovely place though, besides the snakes and scorpions. And stuff.
No, you stay in New York. You're obviously happy here.
Yeah, I'm all right. I've gone other places.
All the protesting and chloroquine and everything else we got rolling around over here should be just fine. It's obviously
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
it's the snake you got to worry about in Australia.
Right.
All right, we'll leave it there. Appreciate it if you made it this far through that soup conversation. Just got a little rough there towards the end. But AnthonyOnAir.com has all our links and information. And don't forget to rate and review on Apple Podcasts and like and subscribe and hit that bell on the YouTubes so that you get notified when we premiere a new episode. Very, very exciting. We would premiere more episodes on Facebook, only Facebook sucks and doesn't work most of the time. So we have to just put those episodes out. That's Jay Sabs and Frankie C. It's your old pal Ant, and we'll see you on the next episode.